Hello tubers! Today I'll be giving you some tips on how to make a central vac installation for your home or shop go smoothly. As usual, you will also see some one-of-a-kind things I have created during the installation, which you also may find useful. To remove the canister, you just flip these two levers here, it drops down, and then you can haul it out to the dumpster. Now the nice thing about these two is you can vent the exhaust to the outside. Out here, you just have a little flipper, almost kind of like a dryer vent. Now here we have a low voltage circuit, and when these two wires are touched together, that's what makes the unit go. Speaker wire works just fine. What turns the unit on is up in top right here. You can see the two contacts. And then them touch on this ring, and when them come together, that's what makes the unit go. Now when you go to plumb your system, it looks like Schedule 40 pipe, but it is not. It's definitely special just for your central vac system with a bigger inside diameter. Now for plumbing in the house, you're going to get a piece like this. They also have ones with a nailing flange on them for new construction. And then your piece fits tightly into that seal right here. Now one other thing I want you to know is your regular 90-degree elbow is not what you use on this. They have a real sharp bend one so you can keep it in the wall for your construction. And here's what your house door looks like for the tap and your contacts. And then there's a 110 plug that goes into here, which powers the beater brush on the head unit. For the shop, they sell these metal boxes, and then your tap just slides in and two screws hold it on. One thing I did on plumbing the system is where you have that main trunk line that goes to the other end. You'll notice that pipe there comes in to that from the top. If you were coming in from the bottom, that line, if it wasn't in use, could fill up with debris, possibly causing a problem. In the house, here's how it's plumbed, coming down from the second floor. Another thing too, make sure you got plenty of clearance for anything that's going to move by your piping so you don't have any conflicts. Here's one for all you car enthusiasts. That chain bucket I have there. If you think you know what that's from, leave something in the comments. The hoses for these setups are 30 foot long, so you always try to pick a good central location in your house. Now a few extra little add-ons that I did is have one here right by the entryway with a short hose, and you can always clean up anything that gets tracked in. In the laundry room, you have another short hose and a tap right here. That way you got a hose for cleaning off your lint filter. Now back to the shop here, I have a tap right by the drill press, one located over by the bench, and the main one would be over here by the bolt pin. And of course, you got to have one if need be for the office too. Down in the body shop, I have one on each side and one in front for the machines. Here's the one on the second floor, which also goes up to the third floor. Alright, let's get to these valves. What I have here is a little micro switch, whatever I had laying around, mounted. When you turn the handle, it trips the central vac. Then it's hooked up to the back of the grinder. A wire wheel and something that's rusty, that works pretty darn good for getting rid of that dust. Another thing I did is inside here, I have a chunk of mesh. And when you lose something in the wire wheel, which my girlfriend is famous for, instead of going all the way down the other end, you can just grab the cap off here, grab it out of there, and you're back in business. Okay, we're over by the bead blaster here now. I'm going to give you a quick tip. When you buy one of these, or look at them, get the ones with the steepest walls you can. Otherwise the stuff sits on them. Shallow ones, they don't work as good. Okay, let's have a look at the valve here. And all I did here was, I got like a 1/2 inch nut, some two-sided tape that sticks the micro switch on. And of course, when you turn the valve, Over here by the mill and lathe, I have another one. And what I've done here is same thing, with like maybe a 1/2-inch nut, and then that touches on there. And what I have here, if you leave it in there, you can use that for pulling away some of the chips. I think it helps keep the bit a little cooler too. Of course, cleaning the floor or grabbing a bunch of chips off the lathe. That don't work real well for the curlicues, so you just toss them in there. I'd like to take a moment out and show you a few more things you might find interesting. Where I have this centrally located tap on the mechanical end, I call it the burp switch here. This turns on the central vac unit. What this gets used for is if any debris sits in the bottom of this elbow here and accumulates because of the restriction for this 30-foot hose. For example, when the driveway was at screenings yet, sometimes you'd get a little bit of debris build up in the bottom. Well, you can easily clean that out just by pushing the button here and hitting the flipper. Now, if you have some of these valves that turn really hard, what you can do is take your razor knife, pop this button out of there, slide the handle off, then make yourself a tool that looks like this that you can stick in your drill. Put that on here, give it a spin with your drill for 5 or 10 seconds, and after that, your valve will turn real easy. We're not holding back water pressure here, it's just used for the vacuum. These short hoses, the end wears down from graveling around, cleaning the bench off and stuff, so perhaps you might want to get a few extra ones of these because when that happens, they don't stay in the end of the tool very well for the floor broom. Also, for the floor broom, the ends wear out, nice to have a few extra ones of them too. What I have here is a homemade tool, which I use for cleaning out spark plug holes. When a spark plug comes out kind of hard out of the bore, I use this for, well, pretty much so any of them that come in. You can open this for a vacuum bleed so the vacuum don't over rev until you use it. And then hold your thumb over this and when you purge each spark plug hole. By using that, the majority of the time, you don't need one of these, a thread chaser or a tap. When you're installing your new spark plugs, be sure to put some anti-seize on the threads. Chunkable fuel line. When the threads are clean, they should screw right in. And then, torque them to spec. One more tip on the spark plugs. Many times, as cars got newer, these aluminum cylinder head engines, the manufacturer recommends removing the old spark plugs when the engine temperature is below 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, ideal is overnight cold soak. Well, tubers, I hope you found the Central Vac Tour educational and would like to see you back here again.